My name is Lainie Sevante Wulkan. I'm the president of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce here in Southwest Florida. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to think that there are the animal lovers, and then there's the die-hard animal lovers who really care, that are here to find out how to naturally take care of their pets. So how many have now or have ever had more than 4 pets? 5, 6, 7?
At one time.
At one time. All right, shout it out. Who thinks I've got the most amount of pets? 12. 12 at one time? Wow. Is there anybody else? Okay. How many people have had more than dogs and cats and have gone with like exotics or anything kind of out there? Okay. Great. I've had 7 myself, including hedgehogs and chinchillas. The chinchilla couldn't make it out from New Mexico because the moisture here was not. She's allergic to water, so she's still back in New Mexico taking baths in dust. So I'm an avid animal lover and so happy that we're doing this topic and so happy that this panel of wonderful experts can share their wisdom. So I will talk more about the chamber afterwards and all the great things that we have to share with you because I know we want to get right into this. So I'm going to introduce to you the Chamber's Director of Operations, Tony Wingle. Everybody get up for Tony. Yay, Tony. I'll just give you my mic, and she's going to introduce the lovely people who are here today.
Hi, everybody.
Actually, just take hers.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Okay, this is on. All right, great. Hi, everybody. Like Lainie said, I'm Tony Wingle, Director of Operations for the Chamber. I want to introduce you to our panelists today. Linda's up first. Linda Worsham. For years, Linda has strived to live a healthy lifestyle. A couple of years ago, she had an accident and was looking for something that would help with her pain. And she wanted something that had no bad side effects. She stumbled onto Energetix Magnetic Therapy Jewelry, and she decided to give it a try because she said, in quotes, had nothing to lose and at least she could wear beautiful jewelry. But it did help, and she ended up wearing beautiful jewelry and experiencing help with her pain. So welcome, Linda.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Okay. Next we have Jackie. Jackie Gelardi is a national board certified and licensed mental health counselor. She's also a mom, and Jackie has always been into all healthy living, all things healthy living. She is so passionate about probiotic skincare that she created her own line of products. The topical probiotic skin spray proved to work on many skin issues, not only on people, but pets, and even in some cases, plants. Her company is called Siani. The probiotic pet solution is organically approved, NSF certified, non-GMO, live probiotics grown with 100% organic ingredients. Welcome, Jackie.
Welcome.
And Laura Cavanaugh. Laura is an entrepreneur at her core. Laura's professional background is progressive and broad-based with a consistent focus on health and wellness. She spent over 10 years in dental sales and consulting, and then launched and spent the next 17 years running her own women's magazine designed to empower women via a local guide for health and wellness resources and information. In early 2019, after experiencing the healing effect of CBD oil, she and her husband Tom launched For My Prime Life. She is energized and excited to educate audiences and share testimonies on the amazing healing products of the highest quality hemp oil. Welcome.
Welcome, Laura.
Okay, Trish. Trish Fancher is a Young Living essential oils independent distributor. Essential oils are powerful and can be used for many wonderful things, but it is important to know how to use them safely with pets. Trish is also a big force in our local area. As executive director of Keep Lee County Beautiful, she has overseen hundreds of projects including the planting of literally thousands of trees in Lee County.
Thanks, Tony. Terrific. Before we get going, how many are here for the first time to one of our monthly panels? Okay, great. And thank you for the ones who've been here. We see repeat wonderful people here. And we encourage you to ask questions as we go along. You don't have to wait to the end. If you hear something from each person directly, engage in conversation and be part of the knowledge, because whatever you may be asking, as you know, may be on the minds of somebody else. And I also want to thank our sponsors, of course, Unity of Fort Myers, for graciously always having us here. We're so grateful for you. My radio show sponsors this. We advertise on their Zeta Global Radio. And Lotus Blossom Clinic, thank you to Deb and Dr. David. And of course, Natural Awakenings, where you can find our ads every month. How many of you see our ads for these panels in Natural Awakenings? Okay, great. Yep, we have them in there, so you'll see them every month. They're great partners with us. And again, we'll be having time afterwards to spend with each of the panelists and talk about their individual products and services and special offers today. All right, shall we begin? All right, so you have a mic you two are sharing behind you, and Laura, you have one with Trish. Okay, so I'll ask a series of questions and we'll just kind of go down the way here. The first question is, what do you believe is one of the greatest issues facing our pets' health in these modern times? Linda.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like it's on.
Hello.
Do it again.
Hello.
It's on, but it might
Is it
need to go
working?
up a bit, and if not, I can hand you mine.
Hello. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can y'all hear it?
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Communication, and you're probably thinking that lady's probably crazy, but no, I'm not crazy, but my husband may have a different opinion. But anyway, it is the number one problem because our pets don't normally ask us for a ice pack when they're hurting. So obviously they also have other health issues that we can see, like they can't jump up on the couch anymore, or they have allergies, and if we could provide them with an Energetix magnet before any health issues start, then that would be ideal.
Thank you. Jackie.
Yes, I have the same question, apparently.
Yeah. We're going to have each of you answer the same question.
Yes, thank you. Okay, one of the greatest issues facing our pets today and their health, I think one thing is probably the foods that our pets are eating that may have chemicals, pesticides, and things like that that may cause skin irritations or infections from the irritations. And also anything they bring in from the environment. Once they're outside, if they're on grass and there's pesticides and things like that, that again is going to affect their skin. I notice a lot of the animals have like hot spots and itches and odors, gum disease, and things like that. So I think we need to look out for our little furry family members. And one solution I think would be live probiotics on the skin, rather than taking them orally, but on the skin.
I think I agree with that. When I think about the GMOs for humans, it's the same thing that applies to our four-legged babies, is how important it is to have clean food. Laura, your thoughts on that?
So I really agree with Jackie, and I'm sure we're all in agreement that toxicity, our pets are exposed to going outdoors, they're putting their nose in the grass and who knows where else. Our dogs are exposed to our swimming pool, we let them swim in the pool, so there's chemicals. And so I really feel strongly also the nutrition that they're getting. All of these things play into their health, their longevity, and how they feel.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Trish?
Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record because I agree. Toxicity is definitely what I think faces them the most. They do not have the same body processes that we have. They're not able to break down certain things like phenols and salicylates and other things that we can normally process, they cannot, and it will destroy their liver. Think about like, and when I tell the human world about it, dryer sheets and fabric softener are the very worst thing because they're loaded with formaldehyde. Think about where your dog or your cat is laying. The Glade fresheners, all that stuff comes out and goes down to their level. It goes down to the ground. The things you're mopping your floors with, that they are putting their very sensitive little pads all over. They're a little bit more susceptible and they cannot process those chemicals. So I agree that they're getting toxic overload. They're made to be out in the wild. I mean, we've domesticated them. That's not what they were originally for. Where they're naturally connecting with the plants and environment, not everything that we've come up with to smell like the plants and environment.
Well, I want to throw into the ring along that, since we're all Floridians, is what's happening with our waters here. I had my mom, who's very excitable, calls me from New Mexico and says, all the dogs are dropping dead in Florida, you can't have them drink any water. And I was like, what are you talking about this time? And she was talking about the algae issues. And I don't know the story, maybe somebody here does, but there was something somewhere in Florida, in a particular creek somewhere, where the dogs were... Multiple.
It's actually happening. It's actually, so my day life, I run an environmental nonprofit. I just actually presented to 800 people, 700 people on the Save Our Water thing on Wednesday. It's actually happening all along the East Coast. It's happening in Ohio. It's not just a Florida problem. And that can be attributed a lot to fertilizer runoff, pet waste runoff. Believe it or not, the pet's own waste is pretty toxic to them, to the point where they'll tell you to bury dog feces, but not cat, because cat feces is so toxic. So they don't want you to bury it because it'll just eventually trickle it down to the water column. But that's not what we're here for. So yeah, the water quality in our area is a huge issue. It looks great right now, and a lot of people have allowed it to escape their minds. It will be back.
Trish, you already have the mic, so let's just keep going. To give people more of a sense of what each of you do, I just want to extrapolate on that. I know you started to touch on what you do during the day, and then you also have your other business, but really it kind of flows into the next question, which is, what are the natural holistic solutions you offer in keeping our fur friends healthy? But there are a lot of things that we have to look for. I mean, they're helpless without us. I mean, we are the ones, the deciders on how they are going to live in what capacity in terms of care. So it's really important that we honor them in all that respect.
So I wasn't going to tell this story today, and then Laura told me I should. My son got diagnosed with Crohn's disease at 14 years old. And 3 years, 22 pills a day, weekly injections. So our inflammatory markers are when he was diagnosed, were 1900. An average human is about 50 or below. So he was extremely diseased. 3 years later, 22 pills a day, weekly injections, we couldn't get him to bottom out below 400. So last year we made a trip to the Mayo Clinic, where we learned about chemicals and toxicity in humans and how many autoimmune diseases are caused by the chemicals. So I did a lot of research, and I actually did use a different company, and now I am with Young Living, where I will remain forever. Long story short, he doesn't take any pills anymore. He does still take weekly injections, but no more pills, and his June inflammatory markers were 46.8.
Wow.
So what I am offering, I am a Young Living independent distributor with essential oils. Because I purchase nothing at the store as far as chemicals, household cleaners, our colognes, our deodorants, our toothpaste. All of that is all natural, plant-based in our whole entire home. More importantly, what I wanted to point out at today's topic, though, because I know we're not here to talk about human health, although they're very intimately connected, is how not to use essential oils with pets. Because so many people are jumping on the essential oil bandwagon, which I think is great, but it can also be fatal if you're not using them correctly. So I totally forgot the question, but...
What natural holistic solutions do you offer to help keep our fur families healthy?
I offer essential oils and all plant-based products to help your animal's health and wellness.
Does anybody have any questions so far? because this is a great time.
One of mine has just been diagnosed with irritable bowel disease by biopsy.
Yes.
And she's supposed to be on duck or venison.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
So for the video, I'm going to repeat the question. Or what is the question?
Is there anything else I can do for this poor kid?
Okay, so Trish, if you or whoever is going to answer that, her kitty has been diagnosed with irritable bowel disease. Is there anything that so far that we're talking about can support what you're asking for your kitty?
Not yet.
I would say, I believe several of the things up here can definitely help.
So as we go along, each person can add their 2 cents.
Because I
Perfect.
know CBD helps with calming of the system. I don't want to go into her thing, so I don't know. But yes, there are products out there. But like I said, it's using them. First, you have to acclimate your animals to using essential oils very, very slowly because they process their scents and smells very different. For them, smelling something, it's like seeing, touching, smelling, tasting all at once. So you can overload them very quickly. But yes, there are things that can definitely help calm their entire digestive system.
Perfect. Laura, do you want to answer that? And then you can answer that and the other question. I'll repeat it.
Yeah, as Trish said, CBD definitely has, health benefits for the GI, for sure. So I can get you more specific information on that if you give me your information. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and, what's the question?
Well, what I'd like to do is, how many people are versed on CBD? How many people are not versed on CBD, but you've been hearing it a lot for humans and didn't even know we can use it for? This woman knows a lot about the subject, so I thought maybe if you gave just a smidge of a background of what this is and then why it's good for our fur babies.
Thank you, Lainie. So I did want to share a little bit of the science so that everyone understands what this is all about. We all, us humans and our mammal friends, kitties, dogs, horses, mammals, dolphins, elephants, we all have a system and it's called the endocannabinoid system. Has everyone heard of this by now? Okay, and today we'll just call it the ECS system because endocannabinoid gets repetitive and long. But we have an ECS system and this system is in our dogs, our cats, us, our husbands. It is the master switch or the top of all of the systems. So it is more important than our reproductive system, our skeletal system, autoimmune system. And what's interesting is this system was just discovered in the early 1990s. So this is really new science. In fact, today, a lot of medical doctors don't know what the ECS system is. And just now, they're starting to teach in about 13% of the medical colleges, they're teaching what the ECS system is because it's so important. When our ECS system isn't working, everything isn't working in the body. Like I said, it's the master switch, and the ECS system can become dormant. And why? Because of the toxins. So whether it's our dogs, cats, or our husbands, we're all toxic. And when, sorry, we are, but we're toxic.
And that's on YouTube.
Yeah. So we have to be aware that this system is dormant right now. And when we introduce CBD into our body, it also has our endocannabinoid, our ECS system has these things called receptors. They're messengers. So when we introduce CBD into our pet's body, our body, it wakes up this dormant system and it gets it working. And it starts the messengers working. So the messengers are reducing inflammation. They're working on the autoimmune disease. All of a sudden, our body is having the opportunity to heal naturally and also create homeostasis. So that's really the science in a nutshell. Of course, there's a lot more information. This is a huge topic. I don't know if you want me to go on with.
No, I think that's great. And now I'm going to ask the question, what natural holistic solutions do you offer to help keep our fur families healthy?
Sure. Okay. So, well, I solely do represent a specific CBD oil that I was introduced to in July of 2017. I started using it, not the pet oil, but the human oil, in July of 2018. I have had radical health changes personally, but let me talk about my dogs. I have 2 golden retrievers and I have a petite golden doodle. Lots of different concerns there because, for one, golden retrievers and labs and large dogs in general, life expectancy these days is 10 years, and that's because of the toxins. So when we introduce CBD on a consistent basis, it does lots of amazing things for all of our health. And I can go ahead and, do you want me to go on? Okay, so for example, one of the big things that CBD does is it reduces inflammation. And I personally believe inflammation is the stem of all disease. When we're inflamed, we're susceptible to autoimmune, to cancer, you name it. So giving the body CBD reduces inflammation. And when you reduce inflammation, you reduce chronic pain, right? For example, my golden bear, who is just 6 years old, he has rheumatoid arthritis. We didn't know what was wrong with him last year. His tail was between his legs, his head was down, he was tiptoeing around. We took him to the vet, got confirmation we have RA. He has been on this oil, since it's been available, which has been 10 months. And within a short period of time, a few weeks, his tail was wagging, his head was up, he was moving, he can run again. And you bet that he's gonna be on this oil the rest of his life. In fact, all 3 of the dogs. I have more.
We'll come back.
I'll come back to the end.
Stay tuned, more with Laura. Okay, Jackie, go ahead, right behind you.
Right behind me. Right behind me. I thought you were going to repeat the question.
I will, if you'd like me
Everybody
to.
else, yeah.
What natural holistic solutions do you offer to help keep our fur families healthy?
That solution, okay. One of my products with Siani is probiotic pet solutions. So it's a probiotic spray. It's just purified water and live probiotics. And I can tell you more about that, but I want to let you know that I actually got into it because, again, starting with humans, okay, and different things that we're exposed to in the world. 6 years ago, I adopted a little boy at birth, and he wasn't thriving. He was an at-risk baby, and no matter what formula I tried, he would just continue to spit up and lose weight. So I went on to Radiant Life and found a homemade recipe that's compared to like breast milk, and I ordered those very wholesome ingredients from all over the United States that came in packages with ice and this and that, and one of them was a very good probiotic powder. Since I started that formula with him, he started to thrive, never spit up again. So that was one of my first experiences with probiotics. Then he had some patches of eczema on his skin. So I decided to do something more topically with probiotics, and it was amazing. It cleared up his skin. He's had beautiful skin ever since. And that just got me more involved in wanting to help other children. So we developed Baby Biotics, which is a probiotic spray for all kids, and which helps with amazing things. And this is about pets. So we also have one for men and women. And then people are like, this stuff is amazing. We're using it with our pets. So I thought, you know what? And it's been known as the miracle spray, as Deb Martin puts it. So we developed one for pets, and it is wonderful to help clean the pets. The live probiotics actually work underneath the surface of the skin for up to 3 days. You can put it in their water, so they're ingesting it, and it will actually go into their gut. But also, if it's in their water, the water is staying clean, because these good bacteria, every time they're lapping, we're talking about the animals that will lap, water, the bacteria is going back into the dish. Okay, so it keeps their water clean, which again, they're not getting that bad bacteria inside. If you have dogs or other animals and their ears are stinking, you can clean it with the probiotic spray, and that, it clears up the yeast, ear mites, things like that. It's good for gum disease, hot spots, itch. I see all these commercials with cats itching and talking to each other about how miserable they are. Have you seen those commercials? Yeah. Well, I'm thinking to myself, it's rather than using some more chemicals, which these poor animals are exposed to constantly, use something these probiotics are fed with organic ingredients, and they're live, and see if that clears up, because it's amazing. It soothes, it calms, it clears up things, and it helps heal. And it's very unlikely that that area will become infected, because you have the good bacteria that's going to eat away the bad bacteria to make things heal faster and keep your animal free of bacteria. I even put it in my fish tank, and I don't have to clean out my fish tank that often, which I love. And my mom puts it on her plants, and they're amazing. It's kind of scary, actually. So yeah. And so if you happen to have plants that are your little friends, you can talk to them and spray them with probiotic spray.
Any questions for Jackie? How many people were here last month for the gut panel, digestive panel? Yeah, a few of you. So I'm hearing similar themes, talking about how important it is for the gut health for both our babies and our humans, and how prebiotics and probiotics are essential. So just keep note of it. They're not so different from us.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
What's the difference between prebiotics and probiotics? I've heard of that.
Who would like to answer prebiotics and probiotics? Go ahead. Vicky Gelardi from Lotus Blossom Clinic can answer that.
Consultant with Lotus Blossom. Prebiotics is
Vicky, why don't you come up here for the video?
She's my business partner, my mother. So also for Siani, I love how she says she's with Lotus Blossom.
okay.
Okay, we have another panelist. Go ahead, Vicky.
Okay. Prebiotics feed the gut bacteria, feed actually the probiotic. Okay. And they need that. Your probiotics, your good bacteria need to eat something. So the fiber that you eat, okay. Let's say you juice something, and you drink that juice, but that fiber that's left behind is really what your gut needs, so that your good bacteria can eat that. So it eats other food. It eats asparagus. It eats all kinds of fruit leftovers. And as a prebiotic, we need them both. Chocolate is a good one, as Dad Martin would say. Chocolate is good. It's a prebiotic. So just basically food. The leftover food that's not digested is a prebiotic. That's the simplest way. So.
Thank you. And we did record last month's panel, and we will be having that up. So if you can subscribe to the HCCSWFL YouTube channel, that will be up, and this will be up in the next week or so. I'm sorry, Liam. You just let me know when that'll be up. It'll be up soon. But we will be posting when that is up. So please check out last month's video and, of course, this one. Okay, Linda, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, Energetix makes magnetic therapy items especially designed for our pets. Magnetic therapy, you're probably wondering how it works. Well, it uses defined pulses of electromagnetic energy delivered to the affected areas, working at the cellular level, helping to remove inflammation and restore circulation. Did you know that our pets possess a faster blood circulation than we do?
Linda, just bring this up.
Than us humans. So the magnetic field is easily absorbed, making it speed up the healing process. And you're probably wondering what we have as far as the magnets for the dogs and cats. We have a magnet that attaches to their collar, very easily attaches to their collar. And we also have a pet bed that has 7 neodymium magnets inside the pet bed that helps them. And we have had quite a few people come and tell us that it's really worked tremendously well on their arthritis by sleeping on the pet bed. And we also have a water magnet that you just put in their water bowl that magnetizes their water and purifies their water as well. And we haven't forgotten you guys, you pet lovers. I brought with me today some pet-themed jewelry for you to wear as well.
So we have a health and wellness fair that happens every year, and in April, Linda donated one of the pet beds, and I don't know who wasn't salivating like an animal. Everybody wanted that pet bed. Do you have the pet bed here, or?
I have two.
You have two here. Okay, fantastic. Any questions about magnetic therapy? Yes.
Is hematite anything similar to what you're talking about? Hematite.
Is it like hematite?
That's a good question.
It isn't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No. Does anybody have any background on crystal therapy while we're at it? Anybody on the panel can lend to that? Anybody in the audience about crystals? Candy?
Not particularly hematite, I mean, I know of it.
Or any crystal therapy for pets?
Not specifically for pets, no.
I can just share a little bit that I have. I worked with a gentleman years ago who created amethyst crystal blankets, and he took thousands of crystals and pulverized them into a thread and wove them just like cotton candy with the thread of the blanket and made these, they're really healing. And my pets could look at 4 or 5 blankets in the house, and every single one of them always gravitated to the blanket that had the amethyst crystals. So whenever any of them are feeling well, if their hips aren't well, if they're aching, we always wrap them in these blankets. So I'm a huge believer in crystals, particularly, well, for humans, of course, but absolutely around pets. That's just an extra. Okay, any other questions? All right. Linda, any specials that you want to talk about today? We'll just keep going back down.
Oh, okay, for final wrap up? Okay.
Well,
Final wrap up.
I might throw a few extra questions in there, but yes.
Well, I did want to say that our magnets are permanent, which means they never lose their power. Doctors say you need at least 600 Gauss, which is the strength of the magnet to help you. Ours start at 1200 and go to 2200 Gauss. It also acts as a form of pain relief in chronic conditions for your pets, and it decreases the pain, the swelling, and the inflammation. And one of the best parts about it is there's no side effects, and it's a one-time purchase. Now today, when you purchase any of my pet items on my table, I have a section of half-price items you can choose from to get half price when you purchase a pet theme or pet product from me.
Terrific. And I'm just going to throw this out there, and this is on the spot, but you might be thinking about it. But think of if there's any particular direct story you can say that that your products helped this animal, it had this, and then this happened. But if any of those come up, people love to hear direct stories about successes.
Yes, well, one thing is when our pet blanket first came out, I decided, I'm anxious to try this. So I bought one and I put it on in my living room on the floor there. And the minute I opened it up and folded it out, my fat, overweight fat cat, who has a little bit of, she's getting older now, she made a beeline for the blanket and she sleeps on it all the time and she loves it. And I know that the pets can really feel the magnets inside, it makes them feel better.
So you have a blanket and you have a bed?
No, it's the same thing.
Oh, it's the same thing, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackie.
Oh, here.
I'm ready to sleep on your pet bed.
Oh.
I'm all about it. Well, as far as the story, I do have a picture on my little booth over there of somebody who, she had a dog, then the paw was just raw, lost all its fur. She had made multiple trips to the veterinary clinic, lots and lots of expense there. Tried topical antibiotics, didn't work. Oral antibiotics didn't work. Some other topical stuff didn't work. So she had seen some of my stuff on Amazon, the pet solutions, probiotic solutions. And so she tried it, and she posted a picture for me to see that it was unbelievable that it had actually cleared up her dog's, the entire paw. And then over time, the hair growth had come back and looked just as healthy as the other paw. So that was, a nice story, and I was thrilled that that would work for them. The other thing that we're noticing with the pet spray, actually you can use either of our spray. The pet spray is a human grade as well, but it's great for allergens. And if somebody is allergic, it's great, with the dander and everything, that you could actually spray that spray, and it helps with the allergies and the, sneezing and things like that. So what we're gonna do today is, I have some little pieces of paper. If you would like, we're gonna do a giveaway of a probiotic spray of your choice. So it could be one for your pet, or one for you, or one for a male or a baby or child. And also, we are going to do a 20% off of anything that you'd like to order from our website. We also have anti-aging facial, probiotic facial care. So you can go on our website, you can look, it's free shipping at 20% off. And we have a promo code right there by my mom in the pink. Okay. And we're also discounting our products today. So the pet spray is running 18 for today. Or I'm sorry, what did I write down there, Mom?
Yeah, 18.
Is 18? Okay, it's 18, and then the human spray we're doing for 22. Okay.
Thank you. All right, Laura.
Oh boy. So I'll go ahead and just quickly share a few more things about the benefits of CBD. It's an antibacterial. This is important because 3/4 of our pets do suffer with gum disease. It's an antifungal. If you've had dogs that swim, you've dealt with fungal infections most likely. They're expensive to take them to the vet. It's painful for the dog. Since my Goldens have been on the oil, their fungal infections are non-existent. I still check them every week, but that's a huge blessing to me. And I didn't touch on cancer. I mentioned it earlier, but CBD is, the studies are showing that it has an anti-tumor effect. So there's a website that you might be interested if you're looking for more information. It's called pubmed.gov, pubmed.gov, G-O-V. And this is a reliable source by the government where you can go and put in your ailment and CBD, and you'll get information. Have you guys heard of that before? Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to
Any
wrap
questions?
this up.
Oh, no, we're not. No, we're good. We're good. Take your time.
So, did you want me to share a little bit about what I'm offering?
Sure.
Okay. So I represent a specific CBD oil because it matters. CBD is unregulated. You don't know what you're getting, so you do need to be careful whether it's for you or for your pet. And the oil that I offer is clean, it's safe, and it also, in addition to having the CBD that we spoke about earlier, it has 4 other supplements in it that are beneficial for our cats and dogs. Yucca berry, yucca plant, hawthorn berry, red algae, and it also has mercury-free wild salmon. So you're getting all those omega. So they're getting a punch in one little dose. They're getting their CBD plus all of those supplements. So what we're offering today is our oil tastes like salmon, and I do directly put it right into my dog's mouth because this is another thing to take note of. You want a liposomal product. And what that means is that the oil is going into their mouth and being delivered directly through the oral cavity into the brain. And when that doesn't happen, when you're using a product that doesn't have that ability, it does end up in the GI, and you probably all know what happens in the GI. You lose about 90% of it, and it goes out the back end. So this is not the case with this particular product, and we have it on special today. It is $75 a bottle, normally $92. I give it to all 3 of my dogs every single day, and so we will have that if you're interested, and I have some dog treats that are wheat-free, so feel free to stop by and grab one.
That's great. Any questions? Oh, go ahead. Hold on. She has a question.
CBD oil, I use it on my dogs, but I drop it in, onto their food? Are you saying that I've just lost 90% of their?
I'm saying that you really, if you want to get full absorption and you want it to get into their blood immediately, and you want, like I said, that 90 to 95% availability, you need something that's got small enough nanometers that can penetrate the mucous membrane, penetrate the blood-brain barrier, and flood the central nervous system. That's where all the magic happens. When it goes through the gut, yeah, you're losing 90, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but you're losing a high percentage. It's just like us taking supplements. We don't absorb 100% through our GI. It's a small percentage. So yes, it's great that you're giving your dog CBD, and he is benefiting for sure, but there's other avenues that I'm trying to bring awareness to, and I hope that helped answer your question.
So is it the delivery method, like, not subdural, sublingual? That's when it gets directly in your system, or is it the quality of the CBD oil? Sounds like you're saying,
Yeah.
I've got 7, I foster, so I've got 7 dogs at home. I'm not gonna be dropping drops into 7 dogs twice a day.
Laura, just repeat the question for the video so they can hear it. The best mode of delivery or the quality.
Yeah, so the
quality.
Or quality.
Sure. So to answer your question, it's both. Number one, I'm not gonna spend my money on a product that isn't getting fully absorbed into my body or my pet's body. That's super important. And quality, yeah, it's like right now with unregulated, if you don't know what you're picking up, hey, everyone's growing hemp right now, and hemp is a chemical absorber. Okay, it's gonna absorb pesticides, toxins, mercury. If it's not being extracted properly, guess what? You're putting that right back in your body or your dog or cat's body. So be aware. That's why I am with this specific company. It's clean, it's safe, it's liposomal, it's getting into the blood, it's doing, everything that I've shared with you today. I'm not saying that CBD through the dog food is inappropriate or bad. I'm just sharing the difference. It's going into the gut versus going in through the blood. So the difference being getting an injection or swallowing the pill.
So would it be helpful if we just put it in the water rather than on the food?
Candy, let's just repeat the question for the video. She's asking, is it better to put it in directly into the water rather than the food?
No, because we can't force them to drink all that water, Candy. I really think, this is a salmon flavored oil. My dogs really don't mind it. I put it right into their mouth and that's it. 1 squirt, we're done for the day. And they're getting that full absorption. It's working, it's reducing inflammation, it's working on preventing cancer, antibacterial, their teeth, their ears. So for me, this is what I believe in.
It's so, hold on one second, Gina. I'm so glad we're having this conversation for many reasons. Also because how many people have heard this, or maybe have had other people close to us have felt this, that pets have a better immune system, so they don't really need to have the healthy, expensive food or the supplements. Have you ever heard that before? No one's ever heard that before?
I have.
Many people I've heard say, well, they have a stronger ability to get over things and not get sick, so they don't need to have the fancy supplements and the fancy things that humans do. And that's absolutely not true, as we know. And then I know, of course, all of you are thinking that, but that does come up a lot when you have to make a choice between Old Roy, I'm just saying, or, I'm not gonna name a bunch of brands, but, a higher end brand where it's grain-free and all the things that, corn-free and all the things that we would not wanna put in our body. So it's essential that we do that for our babies. Go ahead, Dina.
So, 2 things. I have a cat that I adopted a few months ago. He's 2 years old and he's a tomcat. So he had this tomcat mentality of howling and yowling. He's fixed, obviously. I got him from the Humane Society. They fixed him. But for a few months, he still carried forth that tomcat yowling. So I went to my veterinarian, we put him on some type of medication, didn't work, and now he's taking Prozac. I'm not pleased about this, okay? I am really disenchanted with the idea.
The cat is on Prozac.
Yes, so he can calm himself down and sleep at night. He's down to a quarter of a pill. It was half, now it's a quarter. I'm thinking I'd like to get him off that and onto something that would maintain what he has now, which is he's not yowling all night long anymore. Yes, he talks, yes, he's a talker, but I believe that the CBD might be a good thing to calm him down. What is your opinion about that?
So that's an interesting
Calm him
question.
down.
But yes, the number one thing that CBD is, you're gonna notice as humans taking it, and with your dogs and cats, is that the number one thing that happens the quickest is the anxiety. They calm down. So we all deal with these thunderstorms right now, and my dogs go bananas, 2 of them. And the 110-pound golden retriever wants to sit on my lap. He's panting, he's shaking. He's on the oil every day, but when we hear the thunder starting, we immediately give him a dose. And within approximately 10 minutes, we're laying down and we're quiet.
For how long?
Until the oil stays in your system for 6 hours. So, because of the delivery system. But, so I would say yes. And then I'll be real quick. There's a personal story. I got off of heavy duty antidepressants for 12 years. I was taking 150 milligrams of Effexor. I am clean, thank God. But I know the reason I'm clean of that is it took time, and I had to help, my doctor had to help me. But it was because of the anxiety. The oil is reducing the inflammation in our brain and all that chaos that we have going on. So when I started using the oil slowly, I weaned my way off. It took about 8 months. And so I just wanted to share that because I know you're talking about Prozac.
I know, I'm like, it's horrible, but
Well, and then also if anyone else wants to add to it, because I know we've talked about a lot of physical joints and pain, but the emotional, I'm so glad you brought that up because there's so many issues that animals have in terms of their emotional stability and foundation. So anything that anybody on the panel wants to talk more about that, please do. Let me just ask Tracy's question and then we'll have Trish.
How many milligrams are recommended for your medium-sized dog?
So there's dosing on the bottle, and I can show it to you. I have it here. So depending upon the size, the poundage is, there's the recommendation. So like my big boy, he has to take a full milliliter, but my small one only needs a quarter. And then if there's a stormy day, I don't have a problem giving them a second shot of it because it's not addictive. They're not going to overdose. It's just going to help them calm down.
Beautiful. All right, Trish.
We also have an oil for anxiety called TUA. I handed out so many samples at the 4th of July because the fireworks, of course, freak out all of our little friends. Because essential oils, one thing I wanted to mention, and this is supposed to be my opening thing and I forget, is any comments I make today are specifically for Young Living oils, because just like CBD, not all oils are created equal. If you have an expiration date on a bottle, there's something in there that's not pure, because essential oils will never expire, ever. They're plants. Unless you expose them to direct sunlight or direct heat, they will be good forever. So whatever comments I make is only based on the science I know of our product. So I just want to kind of let that know that not all oils are created equal. When you put oils on the skin, they are in your blood within 20 seconds. This is kind of the same thing as CBD. When you put them on the skin, they're in your blood in 20 seconds, in your brain in 2 minutes, and in every single organ of your body in 20 minutes. So delivery method really does matter. So anyways, we use the TUA for thunderstorms. My cats don't really freak out. They're kind of lazy. But fireworks definitely set them off. So we use the TUA, but you have to acclimate your animals to it. Because they, like I said earlier, they do things differently. So we'll put it, they trust you. They don't trust the smells in their environment, they trust you. So put the oil on your hand, rub it in, and give them a quick whiff. If they don't like it, they'll run away, and that's fine. Do it again, and do it again, and eventually they trust you, so they'll come back until you can finally rub it on your hands and maybe rub it down their fur to get a little bit on them. You really don't want to put it on their paws directly because they lick them constantly. And even though they can be ingested, it's just, you don't want them to overload. So you have to, get them in that way. Plus you can diffuse it near them as long as they can get away if they want to. Don't lock them in a bathroom with a diffuser going, and then wonder why they don't like it. But not only do they get it through their olfactory senses into their brain, but the little particles will land on them naturally and get into their system. So that's another good way to slowly introduce animals to the different oils and things like that. So the specials I have, Young Living's a little bit different. We do not have necessarily over-the-counter products we sell. You have to be a member, and it makes it a little bit difficult. But it's a one-time, lifetime membership fee, and you get 12 starter oils for humans, not the pets. However, the oils can be used on the pets. For example, lavender. Lavender is good for everything. Everything. Valor comes in the kit, which I'm wearing because it's courage, because I don't like public speaking.
You never know. You're amazing today.
Yeah, but if you felt my heart rate beat differently, because I haven't sniffed my necklace.
Sniff
in a
some
while.
valor, girl. Sniff some valor.
So, anyways, when you buy a kit, because of this, and you can take one of my cards, I'll write a note on it. It doesn't have to be today, because if you're like me, you want to go home and research what you're spending your money on, and I don't blame you. You can take my card, call me, email me, ask questions. I have a Facebook page. You can go and see what kinds of things we do. But if you do buy a kit because of this panel, you will get $25 credit to your account from me for another product, perhaps one of the pet products or something like that. I have different things over there that you can smell to see what they smell like, because just like cats and dogs, there are some that we don't like, but they still work. So it's a little bit different the way my business runs compared to theirs. But I use oils exclusively for my home cleaning, personal beauty products, pet products, my children and everything. So it's a little bit different, but I'd love to talk to you about it.
Thank you. Questions? Yes?
Is there any contraindications of using all the products that you guys talked about? Seems to me there would be crossover that could be a problem, but what if I like the way they all sounded?
Oh boy.
She's looking at me. Look at them. No, no, that's a great question, actually.
It is a great question, and I hadn't thought about that before, but I don't think there would be a problem, and here's why. We actually do have a CBD line for pets. I wasn't going to discuss that today because, you know, Laura has a pet line. What matters is quality. They're all natural products, so as long as they are all natural, and again, you're not just like dumping an entire bottle on your poor little fur baby, and you're introducing things slowly, I don't think they would be contraindicated as long as you do it in moderation. One of my quotes out of the book I have here today is less is better, less is more, gradual is better, moderation is wise. And that's true for everything. So I think you could use them together in the right mixes.
My feeling on that, all kidding aside, is that similar when we're trying to determine if we have an allergy, we wean ourselves off of dairy. Then we wean ourselves off of gluten, or these are just examples, but we do one at a time. I myself am a believer in introducing things one at a time to see how it's working, track it, move on to something else, and then see what becomes, what rises to the top for yourself and for your baby. That would be my suggestion. Anybody else want to add in on that? Okay. All right, I think we have it here. Last round of questions? No? So I just was realizing that last month, as I said, we had the gut panel, and that kind of wove a theme into what we're talking about today. And then next month's panel is about grief and loss and resources to get through challenging times. And I think that's so important because I think everyone in here have dealt with, or mostly have dealt with, the loss of a pet, which is excruciating. And of course, humans. So I highly recommend you come to this panel. We're going to have Dolores Ghazi, Denise Flood, Melissa Peshka, who's right here with us, and Joan Derrick Heacox, and I will be moderating. This is a really important panel, as you can imagine. Every one of the ones that we do here are important and hopefully making a difference in your lives.